in the Loft is partnering with Alpena Senior Citizens Center with a new program, and we need your help. In a brand new program called Art in the Five Senses, which is an interactive, hands-on experience for those suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's and their caretakers. We incorporate the visual and culinary arts into monthly sessions for over 20 participants each time. The participants are those moderately affected and living at home with a spouse or family member as their caretaker, and take advantage of Alpena Senior Citizens Center experiences and opportunities, all the way to residents living at facilities such as Besser Senior Living Community.
So we originally got a grant and reached out to Justin at Art in the Loft to do a dementia series program with art. And the reason we chose to do that is because art brings out a different personality, different things with people with dementia, but it also helps the caregiver in that role.
Art in any form is an expression of feelings and emotions, and those with Alzheimer's have rich, internal emotional lives that might find expression in the art-making process. Paired with the act of creating, provides a way for those with the disease to express their inner feelings while increasing their self-efficacy.
So when we're talking about art, it can be music, it can be art projects, and all of those bring out different senses in our minds and also allows people with dementia to reminisce.
Although studies on art's effects on the brain are limited, research suggests that artistic engagement may help to ease common behavioral symptoms of dementia, like anxiety, agitation, and depression, and may also boost mood and self-esteem, and possibly help stimulate memory. Every month, the five senses, sight, taste, touch, sound, and smell, are used to develop an understanding of the art and the project they are creating. The senses are used in a story-like manner to invigorate feeling or emotion tied to each sense. Caregivers also enjoy the classes as they feel a greater sense of social connection and less emotional distress afterwards.
Just seeing the caregivers and the individuals that have some kind of cognitive loss, just bringing out when people think that they can't do it, seeing how they can do it. I encourage anybody that's on this journey to contact us and be part of this art program. Those individuals that are caregiving even at home, or even if their loved one is in an assisted living, that they can partner and having their person with a memory loss and them partner with us to join in on these art projects, because that's the importance of it. Even if they have severe cognitive loss doesn't mean that they can't do an art project. So I think just getting the people in the community to reach out to us, or even Justin at Art in the Loft, to say, hey, I'm interested, because we're doing it via in person, we're also doing it via Zoom. So there's other opportunities that maybe caregivers can't get to us to do it, but now we hook up the Zoom process part of it.
When we were doing this class at Besser Senior Living, our first in-person session doing this, the story that we were using was all about my daughter and how she brought life to a sunflower from seed all the way to a fully grown flower. And one of the senses we were talking about is, well, how can you tie in sound to a sunflower growing? And we use that sunflower for the whole entire, all the senses, and we were doing a watercolor painting of a sunflower at that time too. And so we were tying that experience and that story to actually what they were making. And the sense we were talking about was sound. And I said, well, what is something you think of, a sound you think of when it's a sunflower? I mean, that might be a hard sense to connect to that experience. A woman raised her hand, and instead of saying anything, she just went psst. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what I was gonna say. When the sunflowers are fully grown or they're becoming mature, you hear those bees, and they're everywhere, and they're pollinating, and they're doing their thing with the rest of the garden as well. And the really beautiful moment that came out of that was then she went into a story about how her late husband was a beekeeper growing up, and how they always had bees in their backyard, and he'd put the whole suit on, and that really brought back a wonderful memory of hers and her husband, something that was a long time ago, but this act of creating, an act of bringing out that very specific sense tied to our story, brought that memory out of her, and she got to share that with the rest of the class. It was quite beautiful.